Season 9 as a Necromancer and Necromancer only. So I'll describe what I'm doing here in this game real quick just to set it up, and then I'll get into what I did during the whole season. So I'm entering a Pit 100, and that will be most of this video. And it was the last build that I played. The last build I played was probably the first build that most people who played Necromancers played. I was not in a hurry to use the Hand of Naz and do the Skeleton Mage minion build. I had not played Necromancer in so long that, you know, I needed to play a few other builds before I got to this one. This one ended up being my last. I did more builds for this Necromancer in Season 9 than I've ever done for any other class. I did 6 total builds. The highest I think I've ever done was 4. So, anyway, I will be showing the gear I was wearing at the end of this video for this Skeleton Mage build that I tried last. But I'll just let the gameplay in the pit come about, and I will describe how my season started and what I did in terms of all of the season. So I leveled up with a regular minions build, which is never mentioned by anybody in terms of play. And when I say regular minions build, I mean all 3 types. You know, the skeletal warriors, the skeleton mages, and the golem. I used that to level up pretty much, and then I realized after I had pretty good gear and that it wasn't really doing very good damage, that the regular all 3 minions build was probably not a good build for the Necromancer. And I mean, even if you like it, I mean, if you can't, push the pit somewhat, if you can't clear if you can't clear tier 4 torment very well and also do the layer bosses, you're not going to stick with a build. So I quickly abandoned the regular minions build and went right to Bloodwave, which has been like the Necromancer build for the last few seasons, but I haven't been a Necromancer, so I wanted to play the Bloodwave build. And I followed some builds online for Bloodwave, and it did great. I was able to do 95 pits in a reasonable amount of time, and I won't go too much into detail on that build because I already made a video on my Bloodwave build and showed the gear at the end. But it really got me going. It got me to be able to clear everything on Torment 4 quickly, and enabled me to just play the game and gather gear, sell it, get better things, and think about the next build that I was going to work on. And you really should, there's an incentive to have a powerful build early on, because you need to clear things in the game, get better gear, earn gold, find better gear to sell, and then target, your next build in terms of gear, and also, improve your Paragon points. All these things. So the next build I did, I think was the most powerful, even though this Skeleton Mage build that I'm showing here in this Pit 100 is pretty good and was nearly as good as it, if not as good. But the next thing I did was Shadow Blight, and that was brought on by a fellow YouTuber, another YouTuber, a guy. I think he only does Necromancers because he only seems to make Necromancer videos. But it's Macro Bio Boy, and he's on YouTube, and he found out that Shadow Blight, with a few of the new aspects that you could put on gear, was very, very powerful. And so I did Shadow Blight, and it definitely was stronger than Bloodwave. So I was kind of happy about that, and was able to easily clear 95 plus pits. I don't think I was able to clear. I don't think I ever cleared 100 pit with Shadow Blight. But then again, I didn't have as many Paragon points. I didn't have as good a gear that I found, toward the end of my journey as a Necromancer in Season 9. In terms of what I'm showing here, I had really higher Paragon points and better gear by the time I got to Skeleton Mage build, the last one. So I did Shadow Blight for a while. It was nice to do, 100 plus billion damage regularly. And then I got kind of tired of Shadow Blight, and I had so much good gear that I wanted to try some new things. And so the next thing I did was I tried to go full Corpse Explosion. So I found a really good, I think a 4GA Black River, 2 or 3 GA Howl from Below glove, and all the other, and very good amulets to go with that, and very good, obviously the mythics, the helmet and the chest piece. And I said, let me see what a Corpse Explosion build could do. And I mean, I had perfect gear, perfect Paragon, perfect skill tree for a Corpse Explosion, and it wasn't as strong. I was able to do like an 85 pit with Corpse Explosion. Again, the two best pieces of gear, the uniques for it. It gave you lots of points in Corpse Skills, Corpse Explosion, Hewed Flesh, which you need to create corpses around you to explode. It didn't do very well. But I stuck with it for a while because it was kind of fun to just, see lots of explosions on the screen. Of course, some of your tempers were, Corpse Explosion size, things like that. But I realized I had to get out of it. And then the next build that I did was another one that was powerful in seasons past, but was terrible in this season. So I did a full Blood Surge build, which in my opinion, the animation of the attack is really cool, way better than Corpse Explosion. And I wished it was strong, but oh my goodness, Blood Surge, I think I might have been able to do a 75 pit, which is just, I mean, that's like 10 times worse than this build that I'm showing now. And like, who wants to play a build that's 10 times worse? So, but I felt like I had to play it because I found a 4GA Cruor's glove. And yeah, and I really wanted to try it out because I knew it was a strong build in the past, and it didn't end up doing very well, so I didn't stick with Blood Surge very long, and then switched to this build that I'm showing here. And now that I'm at the boss, I will talk a little bit about it. So obviously it's a Pit 100. I'm doing 10, 20, 30, 60, 80 billion damage, quite a bit. And you can still see that There's lots of hit points on this boss. So, but I had a good barrier scheme going, so it was very survivable. So I could just kind of hang at this boss for a while. And of course, my mages are doing lots of damage, but it's still taking a while. This is, the meta for the sorcerer obviously could defeat this boss much faster. So this is pretty good. I don't think, if you take a percentage of the players that were able to clear 100 pit, out of all the players that played this season, it's probably 10% or lower. So, I did really try to do my best in outfitting this skeleton mage necromancer for my last build. And now I'm going to get to the gear. I do want to mention, we'll just get right to the gear. So the common thing is a two-handed scythe that gives you 100% summon damage. You want intelligence and max life. Chance for skeleton mages to hit twice, very important. And of course, more skeleton mage damage. And then the really important aspect, to up your damage by 200% with your skeleton mages. Standard boots, nothing really here. Corpse tendril size kind of is the most important thing there. Blood wound breaches. These are, if you're not using a golem, these are the best possible blood wound breaches. Highest aspect. Triple crit on the Hellbent Commander. Here's this is the best possible glove, Hand of Naz you can get. 100% on the aspect. 4 GA. All the goodies. Shroud of False Death. All stats. GA. Pretty good. Low on life in this one, so I had to do one hit on the maximum life. 2 GA. Erudition. And the standard upgrades there. I loved this amulet. Intelligence and Coalesce Blood, GA. And it was able to, double masterwork the Hellbent Commander, get more skeleton mage damage, things like that. Ring of Mendeld. The aspect damage does go up to 7,000. I was looking for a better ring, but this one ended up being the best one I found. 3 GA. Triple masterwork on skeletal mage mastery. And then a Ring of Starless Skies. Now, I took out the Ring of Starless Skies, put in a regular ring, put in good aspects for that one, and I didn't see a difference in how fast I was able to clear pits. So, anyway, there it is. Season 9, Necromancer, history.